What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another match review, a breakdown of the game yesterday. Arsenal against Manchester City, and I put it in the title. For me, a missed opportunity, a big opportunity missed, a chance for Arsenal to go and beat Manchester City, in my opinion. I think they were there for the taking yesterday. I thought City played okay. They moved the ball well, as they always do, let's be honest. City always move the ball well. But I just don't think that was a performance that I can take much. I didn't walk away from that game happy. I felt let down. I got to be honest, I felt let down as an Arsenal fan yesterday. I felt like that was an opportunity to get that top six hoodoo away from us. That was a City team that have been vulnerable. Leeds United dominated them in the second half at Ellen Road. Leicester annihilated them on the counter-attack a few weeks ago. This is a Manchester City team that didn't have their best player, Kevin De Bruyne, playing yesterday. This is a Man City that Sergio Aguero's been out 4 months, is it? Came back yesterday, first game back, and had a very good game. Raheem Sterling missed the international break for injury. With this hamstring injury, wasn't fully fit, ripped us apart. I think the thing what disappointed me about it was I never felt like any point during that game we can win this. I never felt like, do you know what? We've got them on the ropes here. We can beat them. I honestly didn't feel like that. And there's issues in our team right now. There is issues, and they say you got to call a spade, man, and let's start being real with what's going on. Big up everyone in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Curtis, bro, much love from Australia. Thank you very much, bro. Big up Curtis. 1-0 flattered us. Aubameyang is screwing your fantasy team. Geez. Afternoon, Curtis. We played both Man City and Liverpool away from home, only 1 point behind Liverpool and ahead of Man City. Yeah, we have to add balance to both arguments. We haven't made the worst start to the season, as you say. We're only 1 point behind Liverpool, which we'd have probably taken that at this point in the season. But I just felt like Mikel Arteta was, I saw the starting lineup before the game, and I was excited because I thought, finally, Aubameyang's playing through the middle. We're going to see him as a striker. And guess what? We played Willian up front. We played Willian up front away at Manchester City. Am I missing something? Have you ever in your life, I might have missed it. Have you ever seen Willian play as a striker for Brazil, for Chelsea? Who did he play for before? Was it Shakhtar Donetsk? I've never seen Willian play striker in my whole life. Why did Arteta think that was going to work? I do not understand. I was having a little discussion earlier, and I said, for me, the long-term number 9 for Arsenal is Martinelli. I think Martinelli is the long-term solution up front for Arsenal. I do think Lacazette may be moved on in the summer. He'll only have a year left in the summer. I'm not sure they're going to give him a new contract. Eddie Nketiah, for me, is not ready at the moment to be our number 9. If he persists with Aubameyang on the left, which I don't agree with, despite the fact he has scored goals there, I think Martinelli is the long-term solution through the middle. I think that low centre of gravity, the high press, what he's capable of, the skill on the ball, the ability to get shots off quick. I think that's the long-term solution. I thought Mikel Arteta, if we had balance to the argument, there is two sides to it. Arteta's argument would be we've gone to Man City, we've conceded 1 goal that was pretty bad defending from Bellerin, and also question marks about Leno. Should he have palmed it away further? But his argument will be we've had 2 clear-cut chances in Aubameyang and Saka. So he will say we probably should walk away from there with a draw. But this is my argument. Those 2 chances were in the first half. What did we do in the second half? Why did we not go for it with 20, 25 minutes to go? Why was Thomas Partey brought on with 7 minutes left? The substitution's so reactive. It's like Arteta's waiting for something to happen. What are you waiting for? We're 1-0 down. City are on top. You've got good players on the bench who can influence this scoreline. Make the change. Go for it. Three at the back is not working at times. It worked in the Cup at Wembley. Maybe it's a more even game when you play at a neutral ground. But when we're going away from home to these teams' ground, we are too negative. We don't look like we're going to win the game. Let's talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. For me, the best player at Arsenal. The player that would probably get in a lot of teams around Europe. There's certainly a lack of top quality strikers around Europe. He was linked with Barcelona and those sort of teams. We're playing him left wing. Now, I know he's done well there. You know, he's scored a lot of goals out there. But look at the big games away from home. Look at Liverpool. Look at Manchester City. The guy is absolutely isolated. He's hardly touching the ball. He looks frustrated. He doesn't look like scoring. Why was he not played centrally yesterday? Perfect opportunity for you to play Willian and Pepe wide and put Aubameyang through the middle. Why is he not doing it? This comment here, lots of square pegs in round holes. Big up yourself, King Curtis. Respect, bro. Play the players in their best position. I mean, you don't have to be a top-level manager to work that out, surely. John says Hector Bellerin again. I will get back to you as well, bro, about the mod. I saw your comment about that, don't worry. Aubameyang had 26 touches yesterday. Sums it all up. I mean, what does Aubameyang have to do to play central? A lot of people say, because, you know, there's always a balanced argument. A lot of people say Aubameyang can't play through the middle. He's not good enough with his back to goal, they say. He scored 39 goals in his last full season at Borussia Dortmund, playing central. All right. Jamie Vardy isn't unbelievable with his back to goal either. But look at what he does, even at his age. Top goal scorer in the Premier League last season. Aubameyang can play through the middle. Okay, we may have to play slightly different to him. You need to get him facing defenders. You want to get him in behind. You don't really want it to his feet with back to goal too much. But he can play through the middle. There's no doubt about it. We're wasting him on the left. And I've said for a long time, I believe we'll burn him out on the left. Because he's not used to that kind of work rate that is needed when you're playing left wing. You got to get up and down. The formation's got to change now. It's boring now. Honestly, it's boring. You know, we used it at the back end of last season. It worked. We've started this season. I don't think we've started this season great in terms of style of football. But hey, give me your opinions on this. Hello, Curtis. You can't blame Arteta for experimenting. The front three rotated. We had chances. Arsenal worked to a system. You don't just bring in a player after one day's training, no matter how good. You can't blame him for experimenting, but is that the game you experiment in, bruv? And you're experimenting with something that is like, there's no reason for anybody to believe that Willian can play striker. There really isn't. Like, experiment, yeah, but that for me is just wild. Like, that's a wild experiment. You know, I don't see what he believed was going to happen. We need a personnel change. It will come. Never understood the tactics yesterday. Do you think Ainsley Maitland-Niles can do a better job than Bellerin? Can he be number one right back? I think he can. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe we should have signed a right back in the summer. I would have got Semedo, who's gone to Wolves, or I would have got Max Aarons at Norwich. I'm just not a fan of Bellerin. Getting ripped apart by Raheem Sterling is nothing to be ashamed of. Sterling is one of the best wingers in the Premier League, especially when he isolates you. He's so sharp on the turn. But Bellerin got, you know, he got embarrassed at times yesterday, honestly. And it wasn't nice. You know, even on their goal, you know, it's Phil Foden and Bellerin's turning round. You've got to open your body up and see what's in front of you. Ask any defender about that. You have to open your body so that you can see the play. He's literally turning his back to Foden. You've got no chance. Got no chance. Curtis, since the season started, which game have we played that got you excited? Fulham. Fulham's the only game. And let's be honest, Fulham are a poor team this year. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Fulham finished bottom of the league. I find it, and I agree with you, Jeff. City beat us without getting out of second gear. I find it very difficult when Arteta is being so complimentary of Arsenal after losing 1-0. I really find that difficult. If West Brom go to Man City and lose 1-0, you can compliment that. You've just been promoted. You don't have anywhere near the finances to compete with Manchester City. 1-0 ain't a bad result if you've just been promoted at City. We're Arsenal. We're meant to be this big club. Our front three costs more than Manchester City's. It costs more. Pepe cost 72 million. Lacazette, obviously, was on the bench, cost 50 million. Aubameyang cost 56. They cost more than Aguero, Mahrez and Sterling, those three put together. Our attack is the strongest part of Arsenal's team, no doubt about it. Yet we look awful. A lot of you are mentioning Unai Emery here. That was an Unai Emery performance yesterday, I'm sorry. Defensive, never looked like winning. Respected the opposition too much. Didn't go for it. You know, I felt like we came off the pitch and it was like, is that it? Where was the shots in the second half? Why are we not, hit the post and Ederson's made a couple of good saves? Like, second half, we did absolutely nothing in that game. City barely broke a sweat. Aguero, 4 months out, came in, couldn't get near him. Sterling, hamstring injury, comes in, ripping us. This guy, John, you're right. Mahrez, honestly, Tierney had a bad game yesterday. He got dealt with now. Ainsley Maitland-Niles dealt with Mahrez in the FA Cup semi-final. Tierney really got, he had problems yesterday. Let's go through the player ratings. If you want to just quickly chuck your opinion on each player in the chat, I'd appreciate that. We start with Leno. I think he had a decent game. I've got question marks about the goal, though. I feel like palming it out to the penalty spot, I think he's got to get stronger hands on that and get that away. I don't know what I'll give him. He did play all right. I'll give Leno maybe a 5 because I think the goal can be stopped. We go to right wing back, if you like, Hector Bellerin. I'll give Bellerin a 3. I think he got torn apart yesterday. It's difficult against Sterling, but he got ripped to shreds. I can't give him more than that, honestly. I thought Bellerin had a shocker. We'll go to... who are we going to? Who's left? So we go Tierney. I'll give Tierney a 4. I think he got ripped up as well. I see some of you guys giving Bellerin 0s and 1s and 2s. A lot of you giving Leno 6. I'm giving him a 5 because I do feel he can do better on the goal. Tierney, I'll give a 4. I've seen Cancelo turn him inside out. I've seen Mahrez rip him up as well. I thought he was poor yesterday, Tierney. Let's get into the other two centre-backs. David Luiz, I thought played well. He played well. He wasn't set to start. He came in. He was solid. He put a great cross in for Aubameyang in the second half. I give him a 7. I thought David Luiz was solid yesterday against one of the best attacks in the country. I would give Gabriel. I give Gabriel an 8. I thought Gabriel was superb yesterday. You got one guy next to you getting ripped apart. You got another guy who can be a loose cannon at times. I think Gabriel's the best defender at the club. I would go as far to say, at this moment, Gabriel is one of the best centre-backs I've seen at Arsenal in, you could say, 10 years plus. I know there's a long way to go and maybe he will get exposed at times. But at the moment, he looks fantastic. He's aggressive. He's good on the ball. He looks for a pass. He gives me confidence. So, yeah, Gabriel I thought was superb yesterday. I would say along with Saka, Gabriel was man of the match. So I get to Saka. I'll give Saka an 8 as well. He was a bit more quiet in the second half, but I felt like Saka embarrassed a lot of our players yesterday. You got this 19-year-old kid playing with so much confidence and aggression and running at people and working hard and getting shots off. Some of these other players should be embarrassed. You're letting this 19-year-old come in and show you up. You need to do more than that. Saka for me is immense. And I agree with a lot of you guys are saying. First half, Saka was like a 10. He was fantastic. You know, at least Saka wants to go forward with the ball. The guy is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Saka deserves all this credit, what he's getting. England international, new contract, deserves it all. Brilliant. Let's go to the midfield. Quite simply non-existent yesterday. Non-existent. Didn't put a tackle in. Can't remember any of our midfield clattering one of their players yesterday. Let them know they're in a game. Didn't see it. I thought Xhaka was non-existent. I thought Ceballos had a really poor game. I'll give Ceballos a 4. I thought he was poor yesterday. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think Xhaka was maybe a tad better than Ceballos, but they're both poor. For me, Granit Xhaka needs to get dropped. You know, I just see games passing him by, and yeah, Ceballos works hard and he's a bit more mobile. I'll give Ceballos a 4, Xhaka a 5. I thought both were poor. They let their game. In fact, I'll give them both a 4. But I do actually think Xhaka was a little bit better than Ceballos, but at least Ceballos gets about the pitch a little bit more. But I thought they were both poor yesterday, man. We have to change that midfield. Get Partey in there. I would still partner Ceballos with Partey, actually. Let's get into the front three. Our striker yesterday, Willian, shocking. Absolutely awful performance. The manager has to take responsibility as well. You know, you're playing a right winger up front, but he did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. I'll give him a 3 for the work rate. He just didn't do anything. He wasn't in the game. Non-existent. Pepe, I thought he was poor yesterday, you know. Didn't look interested. It's just that Pepe that winds me up, that lets the game pass him by, and I'm starting to struggle with Pepe, and I'm starting to really look at him and go, I think we've been bumped. I think we've been absolutely bumped on Pepe. I just don't see a £72 million player there. We can't keep making excuses for him, as you're saying. You know? Nowhere near a £72 million player at the moment. And I'm very disappointed with Willian and Pepe. They ain't good enough, brother. We need Zaha. Listen, we should have signed Zaha ahead of Pepe. I'm sorry. Not good enough. Not good enough, Pepe, at the moment. He's got to start doing something. Otherwise, I could see him getting sold in the summer. Aubameyang, non-existent. He had one chance. Probably should have scored it. Wasn't in the game. I'll give him a 3 as well. Can't defend him. Shouldn't be on the left, in my opinion. Should have played central, but just didn't do anything. And horrible performance. A shocker. The whole front three was non-existent. How do we sort it out? First of all, in my opinion, go to 4-3-3. Stop with this 3 at the back nonsense. I don't want to see it no more. We use it in a too negative way. You know, Chelsea used 3 at the back when they won the title under Antonio Conte. But when they got the ball, they explode on the counter-attack. Our transition from defence to attack is way too slow. We don't have enough ball carriers, which is where Zaha would have been ideal. And that's the problem. Ref, terminate the contracts. Go 4 at the back. We have to go 4 at the back. Pepe's mind is elsewhere. I mean, at times he doesn't look like his head's in the game. Conte, great manager. We have to change the formation. For 20 minutes against Sheffield United, we went to 4-3-3 and we scored 2 goals and dominated for that period. With Willian in the 10, linking up with Pepe and those guys. That looked good. Apart from the Fulham game, we haven't looked good this season at all. No style of play, too defensive. And I'm sorry, question marks have to be asked of the manager. I didn't even Balogun. Yeah, he looks good. People are saying Arteta 0. I think Arteta had a shocker yesterday, honestly. I think he showed his inexperience yesterday, and that, you know, well, apparently it was still a 3. It was like inverted fullbacks, but it still looked more like a 3 to me than a 4. It didn't look like a flat back 4 to me. But hey, as I'm saying, I think Arteta got it horribly wrong. Waited too long for the substitutions, bringing Partey on for 8 minutes, playing Willian as a striker. Can you imagine if Emery or Wenger played Willian as a striker, the amount of abuse they'd have got? This, for me, is the front three. That, for me, is Arsenal's front three. Obviously, we need Martinelli to get back fit. That's the front three that I want to see. It's dynamic, it's mobile, it's got runners, it's got pace. Get them higher up the pitch, Get Partey in midfield. Maybe with Ceballos next to him. Maybe you play Saka number 10. Moving forward. I see Saka at 10. Yeah, there you go. So maybe you play Saka there. Much love, Curtis. What did he say? Much love, Curtis. Arteta definitely got it wrong. He did get it wrong. Yeah, he did get it wrong. And he has to take responsibility. We have this strange thing in Arsenal that if you criticise this manager, you're not backing the team, you're not supporting Arsenal. I love Arsenal. Of course I'm supporting Arsenal, but it was wrong. You can't say, when Arsene Wenger makes a mistake, we're allowed to hammer him. If Emery makes mistakes, we're allowed to hammer him. But if Arteta makes a mistake, trust the process and, you're not supporting Arsenal properly. Listen, he made a big mistake yesterday, Arteta, and he has to learn. But he made them against Liverpool and didn't learn yesterday. And that's what's so frustrating. Curtis, we are probably the most boring side to watch, so negative. Why is Arteta playing like this? I don't get it. I do not get it, I'm not saying go there and be wide open because Wenger used to do that and get battered. But manage the game, second half, 1-0 down. Now let's go for it for 20, 30 minutes. City were there to concede a goal. We should have at least left there with a point yesterday. We should have left there with a point. But we were too negative. We didn't do enough to win the game. We didn't do enough to score a goal, let alone win the game. That's what's so disappointing for me when teams like Leeds, who've just been promoted, are trying hard to beat this team. How can we do that? I'm not going to sit here and praise Arsenal Football Club for losing 1-0 at Manchester City because people are saying, well, we lost 3-0 to them last time. Now we've lost 1-0, so that's progress. No. This is Arsenal Football Club. We're the third biggest football club in England after Liverpool and Manchester United. We know Manchester City have a better team than us because of the money and the manager. But we don't go to Man City and be happy that we lost 1-0. That sends out the wrong signal to everyone, to me. We're meant to go there and compete. We're meant to go there and make Manchester City have to work damn hard to get a victory. At times, that was like a training session for them yesterday. Strolling about, walking about, just playing passes all over the place. Kevin De Bruyne wasn't even playing. Let's be honest. We was at full strength yesterday. All our best players are available. And we didn't even trouble them with no De Bruyne, with a half-fit Aguero and a half-fit Sterling and a defence that's conceding goals. They had no defensive player in midfield, really, with no Fernandinho. They had 4 players on yellow cards during that game. We didn't trouble them after that. We should have tried to, people should have got sent off. Not good enough for me. Overall, I was very disappointed. I felt like it was a missed opportunity. I think Mikel Arteta needs to learn quickly that when you go to these teams, you have to try and win the game. There's a big difference between trying not to lose and trying to win. Manage the game as you're going through it. Don't just play the same way for 90 minutes and nothing changes. He's got to learn quickly. He is an inexperienced manager. He is learning, but you've got to learn quick. We're struggling overall as a team at the moment. We finished 8th last year. The FA Cup win doesn't cover the cracks of what is wrong in the Premier League. You've got to show your quality in the Prem now. For me, you're a good cup manager at the moment, Arteta. You have to prove that you can do it over a 38-game period, and that's what will dictate how good a manager you are. I said it at the start. This wasn't the manager I would have picked. I would have gone for a Mourinho or an Ancelotti, someone along those lines. But we've got Arteta. He's done all right so far. But let's not get carried away. There is a long way to go, and he needs to figure out how to beat these teams. I don't want us to be a glorified cup team that we can win in cup competitions but can't win in the league. Let me know what you guys think. What was your thoughts on the game yesterday? Do you look at it as, Arteta didn't set us up that wrong, and, maybe if Saka scores, if Aubameyang scores, we get a point and Arteta gets a lot of credit? Or do you look at it like, he's being too negative, the football's boring? I've got to be honest with you. Liverpool away, Manchester City away, absolutely bored out of my mind watching Arsenal in them games. Painful to watch. No attacking presence in that game, both games. So, hey, man, listen, play the players in their best position. That's the first thing. And set us up in a way that suits us. Subscribe to the channel, Curtis Shaw TV. Smash the like video. I'll be back throughout the week with lots of live content as well. Get all you guys involved. Obviously, I'll be here Thursday night, the big game, Rapid Vienna against Arsenal. Thursday night, Europa League football. Hey, we got to do it. That might be our best opportunity of getting Champions League, man. Winning the Europa League top 4, it's going to be hard. We need to adjust quick. Have a good weekend, everyone. Hopefully, that defeat doesn't ruin your weekend. Leicester at home next week and Man United away the week after. 2 tough games coming up. I'll be back later in the week. Take care, everyone.